Sharon, but apparently Etsy is down right now, which is a shame because it was hopping this morning. It's been hopping all week, really, the last 2 weeks, I guess. But I was actually going to try and get that ribbon listed before I went live, but the website is down, so I can't. But hey, Joyce, how are you? And there's Nancy, Denise. How are you guys today? Geneva, Janie, Sandra. Hey, Sharon. Okay, let me get YouTube going also. But like I said, I was really hoping that would get here earlier, but now I can show it to you, but I can't. I mean, I'll have to list it later because you can't even log on to Etsy right now. So I don't know what the issue is. All they ever say is there's an incident. They don't tell us what's wrong or anything like that. So, all right, we have anybody over on YouTube yet? Looks like we've got a few people signed in. So say hello whenever you're there. And if you're a first timer, please let me know where you're from, and welcome. I really appreciate it. We've had several new people join in, new names that I see coming across here that are brand new to the page, and I really appreciate it. So you'll find this is a very welcoming group of people. We don't tolerate meanness. If you got something bad to say, go on along your way, right? Right, guys? I don't mind a difference of opinion at all, as long as you're nice about it. And I always tell everybody that there's lots of different ways to do all kinds of things in wreath making. I show you how I do it. If you have another way that works for you, then by all means do it. But like I said, as long as we have difference of opinion that's kind and polite, then that's okay. Meanness is not tolerated here. Right, guys? Hey, Zuli, how are you? Yeah, Nancy. Yeah, Etsy's down. Hey, Jean. Hey, Sherry. And there's Sue and Jamie. Thank you guys for being here. And who we have over on YouTube? I don't see anybody saying hi yet. So, all right, well, we're going to go ahead and get started, though. I can show you the ribbons, like I said. The two I'm going to show you that we're going to make bows from are already listed in my Etsy shop if and when it comes live back while we are, here doing the video. I have not been able to list this new ribbon yet because, like I said, Etsy's been down. So, and you're going to want to see this. I've been waiting on it. So, hey, Christina. Okay, so I'm going to drop you down. Now, today we're going to be doing the Easy Bow Maker. I've had some requests, and we haven't done the Easy Bow Maker for a few weeks now. And especially when we're getting down to crunch time with the holidays, the pro bow or handmade bows might seem just a little overwhelming to you. Easy bow is probably the easiest way, in my opinion, for somebody that's inexperienced making bows to make a beautiful bow. Okay, and I'm going to show you how. Okay, all right. Let me bring you here. Oh, you know what? That reminds me. This wreath. Since this is about ribbon and bows, I wanted to tell you guys something. I don't know if you saw me making this wreath the other day on my live. I think maybe it was Sunday. I wouldn't swear to it, but I think it was Sunday. And I wanted to talk a little bit about the ribbon. And you can see that I removed one of them, and there's a reason why, and I wanted to tell you about it. I had actually, you can see hints of it that I left because to cut those out would cause more damage than what it would be worth. Plus, it really didn't affect what I'm about to tell you about. But you saw we added this kind of a mesh gold glittered ribbon on top of this. We decided not to put the blue velvet over the top of it because it was going to obscure too much of this gorgeous ribbon here. Okay, and so we just put touches of that at the corners. But I did go ahead and I placed this ribbon over the top of it, and here in real life it looks fine. It shows enough of the background ribbon, not to interfere, where you can appreciate both ribbons, and I thought it looked good until I went to photograph it. Okay, this ribbon does not photograph well at all. I mean, at all. I mean, I did every trick I know, and it just wasn't going to do this wreath justice. So I elected to take it off. It was really distracting in the photos from this ribbon. It's hard to explain. It just looked dull. It looked cheap, and it's not a cheap ribbon. So I went ahead and I cut it out of, I had one piece here, I had a piece here, and then I made actually another loop of this ribbon on the bow, which was going to be the top layer. And I just took it out. But I just wanted to show you that. In case you were on the live, I forgot. I should have taken, I deleted the pictures I had of it before. And now I wish I wouldn't have. But if you were on the live, you saw it. And that's why. Okay? All right. But just because something works in real life, I mean, on Etsy, but if you're a seller, on Etsy, your photos are everything. I mean, if you don't grab the buyer's attention with your photos, doesn't matter what your SEO is, doesn't matter what the price is, doesn't matter how good the wreath is, they're not going to buy it. So anyway, so that's the story behind that, okay? All right. Hey, Rosanna. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and drop you guys down. I hope I've got this camera high enough. I might not. Okay, I'm going to take you up a little bit higher. Get you right in the middle here. So how is everybody today? Can you believe Thanksgiving's next week? I'm like dying. I'm dying. I just can't believe it. It just seems like it's, I don't know, really, to be honest, I think it seems like we just did Thanksgiving and Christmas not too long ago. So, hey, Linda. And there's Rhonda. Hey, Rhonda on YouTube. Janice. Thank you guys for being here. Hey, Vernita. Okay. All right. And I'll let you guys know, too, when I'm doing bows on Etsy, or I'm sorry, on our videos, I usually, after I get done making the bow, I'll come back up and I'll answer any questions. So don't think I'm ignoring you. But it really, I get distracted and lose my train of thought if I'm trying to go back and forth. So it's going to be a lot more fluid this way. Okay? All right. Now, actually, let's see. Which one do we want to do first? Let's do the snowflake first. And I like to also talk about how I pick out my ribbons. And, twice a year I go to market. And whenever I'm there, I try to make like ribbon kits or bow kits, or maybe I've got a design in mind that I want to put ribbon together for. And the best way I can tell you is I start out with one ribbon. And I saw this royal blue velvet ribbon with the glitter on it, glittered snowflakes, and it's good quality. And, blue is beautiful all the time. I mean, I think it's the most popular color that exists, really. You ask a lot of people if they like blue, and most people do. But anyway, so I wanted to put a blue ribbon in my bow kit. So I started out with this ribbon, okay? So I've got the blue, I've got the silver. Blues are really hard to match. Okay, so I didn't even waste any time trying to find another blue ribbon. Okay, in my mind, I'm thinking about photographs and thinking what's going to make this ribbon shine. And if I put another blue ribbon with it, even if I found the exact color, this bow can start being pretty dark. In spite of all this silver on it, you put another blue next to it. I wish I had thought to bring another blue, but it can start to be pretty dark, and it can photograph that way, okay? So in my mind, I'm thinking either silver or white. Well, I found this ribbon that has both. Now, it is a satin ribbon, which that's not my favorite. There are good satins out there, and this is a decent one. It's not great, but it's decent. Satins tend to be kind of weak and flimsy, And but one thing that makes this a little bit better quality is that it has so much glitter on it. It gives a lot of body to the ribbon, okay? And the wire's good, okay? So you can make a nice loop with it and it's going to stay where you put it, okay? But anyway, so I found this white ribbon to go along with it and highlight this blue ribbon, okay? So this is the star of the show, okay? All right, so I'm looking around, I'm thinking I need another ribbon. I always like to put a solid in, not 100% of the times, but my preference is to put a solid in with any ribbon set that I do, okay? And I looked around again, I'm staying away from another blue because it's impossible to match, okay? I'm looking for a silver or a white. White satin to me, if I was just going to pick a solid white satin or a white canvas, that wasn't going to work in my mind because I think both of them will look much more inexpensive than these ribbons look together, okay? I think it would cheapen these two ribbons, okay? All right, but then I found this little jewel right here, this, and I've really taken a shine to these either inch or this is a 5/8 inch ribbon. As far as just putting a highlight on your ribbon, like a finishing touch, it's almost like putting your earrings on after you got this fabulous dress. And I think it really complements this, where it doesn't overpower these ribbons, okay, but it accents them, just like I said, just like a good pair of earrings, okay? All right, so that's the ribbons we're going to be working with, okay? And now I've got to make up my mind what kind of pattern that I want to put them in. And I think I want to really showcase this blue velvet ribbon. I mean, we're talking Christmas ribbon. We're wanting to make a statement. So I'm going to start out with this. And my plan is to put 3 loops of this, 2 loops of this, then 1 loop of this, and then drop it or finish it off with our earrings here, okay? All right, does that make sense? Okay, now this is the Easy Bow Maker. If you're not familiar, actually let me get this off of here. If you're not familiar, this is where we're going to make our bow. This is the center of our bow, okay? There's a small peg here, don't worry about that. That is just for like baby, teeny tiny little bows. I've never used it. This peg right here is where we're going to place our ribbon. And then if you can look, from the center of the bow, we've got measurements on either side here going outward. I think the whole board is about 20 inches. If you go to 8 on either side, you're going to have a 16-inch bow, 16-inch wide. That's pretty doggone big bow. And, I mean, you could easily make a tree topper with this. I would go out, you know, depending on the size of tree and what kind of statement you're wanting, you can certainly use this to make a tree topper bow, okay? All right, now, I'm going to place this here. I'm right-handed, so I always, you know, put this off to the side. I'm going to put my ribbon on here, and I want the ribbon, when I place it on here, I want the ribbon to come out and away from me. It is not a deal breaker if you don't. It just makes it a little bit more awkward, okay? All right, so I'm going to make a bow with tails. Like I said, I'm going to put 3 loops of this, 2 loops of the white, 1 loop of this, and then we'll finish it off with a small loop of the 5/8 inch ribbon, okay? All right, everybody good? Let me get my camera. It's, okay. All right. So I've got 8 inches here. I want to make about a 14-inch bow tail. Okay. So I've got 8 inches here. I've got 6 here. So I'm going to lay this out with my tails just like this. Okay. I'm going to keep my thumb here. And notice too, I've got my good side of the ribbon, or the printed side of the ribbon, I've got it facing upward. But right here's where my bow's going to start, okay? This is my tail. I'm going to take this, the good side of the ribbon, I'm going to face it away from me. I'm going to slide this down here again with my finger here at the tail. Good side's going away, and as I go down, I'm going to twist it. Okay? That twist is going to allow that good side of the ribbon to be facing me whenever we're looking at the bow loops, okay? All right, now, let me get enough ribbon off of here. All right, these first loops, I'm going to make them about 5.5 inches, okay? I'm going to take my thumb over here. I'm going to put it about 5.5 inches to hold my ribbon, okay? I'm going to bring this back over here to this peg we were working off. I'm going to face it away from me. The good side's facing, good side's facing away. Got stuck there. All right. I'm going to twist it. I'm going to push it down, okay? And push it down pretty well, because the tighter your center of your bow loops, the more your ribbons are going to pop, okay? All right, now we've got the wrong side of the ribbon showing here, okay, but the right side's coming back around at me, okay? I'm going to come over here. I'm going to 5.5 inches. I'm going to put my thumb here. So right here is where I want to put it down the pegs, right? Because this is going to be 5.5 inches. Again, I'm going to take the good side, face it away from me, twist as I go down, okay? And I'm pushing it down. All right, isn't that pretty ribbon? I love it. All right, now I'm going to go back. I'm going to make 2 more loops on both sides. We're just going to keep repeating the process until the very last loop, okay? All right, so now that I've already got this loop started, I can just use it as a gauge where my length is, okay? So I'm going to put it facing away from me, twist as I go down, okay? Excuse me. All right, same thing. I'm going to put it right over here. Use this other loop as a gauge. Mark my middle. Take it away from me. Twist. Push it down. Okay? Same thing. Good side away from me. Measure it. Twist and push it down. Okay? All right, now, the whole purpose of me twisting it is so the right side is facing me when I'm done with my bow loops, right? Well, this time, I'm not going to make another loop. I already have the good side of the ribbon looking at me. I need to make another tail, okay? So I'm going to come over here. I'm going to compare my loops again. I've got my thumb here at the peg. I'm going to pinch it, and I'm just going to set it down in there, okay? Just like that. And I'm going to push it down. Okay? Go ahead and spread out your loops. This is really nice ribbon. I really like it. Okay. All right, and now this kind of gives you an idea too. You can see, are your bow loops reasonable? Do you like the size of your bow loops? Okay. All right, now let's come down here. Let's cut our tail. Okay, I'm just comparing it with the one that we already made. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and dovetail these while I'm here. To dovetail it, I'm going to fold it in half. Okay, so here's your wired side, here's your folded side, okay? I'm just going to cut it at an angle. Some people will call this fish-tailed, okay? And it just puts a nice finish on your ribbon, okay? All right, now we're going to do the same thing. Okay. All right. Looking here, let me make an adjustment here, you guys. Like I said, this is one thing I do like about the Easy Bow Maker, is that you can make adjustments as you're building the bow. You know, like the Pro Bow, I love it, don't get me wrong, but you don't know until you're done if you like what your ribbon combination you got, or maybe you messed up somewhere along the way. You're almost done. You know, you're done actually before you know that. Okay, easy bow maker, you know, as you're going. All right, so we've got our first bow set or loops done. Now you could stop right here. Honestly, it's a gorgeous bow. Okay, but we're not going to. We're going to keep on going. All right, now I'm going to use my white ribbon, the white with the glitter. And again, I'm putting the ribbon on with the loops, or the ribbon going away from me. Okay. All right, now I'm going to compare here. I like to, on my bow tails, I like to make each ribbon that I use, in the closer to the front, the little bit shorter that it gets, so that you can see the ribbons behind. Okay. If you want to put them all the same size, that's fine too. Okay. All right, now this ribbon, I don't feel comfortable dovetailing it because it's just a little bit on the flimsier side. Okay. What I'm going to do, I'm going to cut it right across that glitter mark there, or right beside it, I should say. And I missed it. And I'm going to cut it at an angle. And the reason I do that is if I go ahead and dovetail this, it's just going to curl in on itself. Okay? All right. So let's go ahead down here. We're going to measure our tail, and I'm just comparing it to the other loop, or the other tail, I mean. Okay? All right, and again, I've got my thumb up here. Now we're going to put two loops of this on either side. Okay? Again, the good side's going away from me. We're going to twist as we go down. Okay? This one, let's make a little bit shorter. Let's make it about 5 inches. And I mean, I know where 5 inches is. I can see it here on my board. But I want to tell you a secret, and I know a lot of you have heard this a lot before, but in case you're new, I always am working on my cutting mat, and it has the grid here, you know. And you know, rather than have to move my ribbon back and forth all the time, what I do a lot of the time, I'm just watching my cutting mat, because like right here, I know, you know, here actually that bow loop's almost 6 inches. I'm going to make this loop about 5 inches, and that's going to be right here. I make sure I've got my line, you know, my measurements lined up on my grid, but I'm going to make this about 5 inch. Okay, so it's right here. All right, and again, I'm taking it down, good side away, measure it. We're going to twist it as we push it down. Okay. Come back over here, find my 5 inches, which is about right here. Okay, good side's going away. More ribbon. And notice, you know, I've got quite a bit of ribbon in here now. So the closer I get to the top of this, you'll see it kind of start splaying apart. And I hammer these down, but they still, you know, we're using big ribbon, or a lot of ribbon here. So it's just nature, it's going to splay apart. Well, what I do, I kind of put my finger there just to hold my ribbon down. Okay. All right. Now let's make sure our ribbon's going the right direction. All the, you know, the turn is complete. All right, I'm going to come back here. I'm going to use this other loop as a guide. Start going down my peg here. Okay, we're going to twist. Hold it down. Now this is the last loop. Okay, last loop, so we don't have to twist it. We're going to come over here. We're going to pinch it and set it down in there. Okay. Actually, I'm going to bring that down there. And it really, the ribbon will kind of talk to you and tell you which way it needs to go. It doesn't matter if I want to bring this up, I can do that. If I want to bring it down, I can do that. It's wherever looks right to you. Just play around with it. I can see I'm messing with it because when we do our turns, we need to make sure that we make a complete turn. Sometimes I get in a hurry and I don't, so that's what I'm correcting right now. Just making sure all those ribbons have the, whoops, I just pulled that out. Making sure all those ribbons have all the edges turned completely, okay? All right. I'm just kind of fussing with it. I got some of my loops a little bit uneven here. And that's one reason that if I'm making a bow that I need to have exact measurements on, I don't use the easy bow. If I'm doing that, well, I can make it by hand, but it's a little bit trickier. But usually if I'm doing that, I need to use my pro bow, because there you get exact measurements. So, okay, now let's come back here. Let's put one loop of the blue. Okay, and again, I'm going to make my tail just a little bit shorter than the one behind it. So I got my thumb up here. I'm going to take it down vertically, good side away. We're going to twist it. Isn't that pretty? Lots of bling on this ribbon, you guys. All right, let's make this one about, let's see, the other one was 4. Let's just make this one about 4.5 inches. Or I'm sorry, the other one was 5. Let's make this about 4.5. So that's going to be about right here on my mat. And as I said, now I cannot see the markings. I can pull these ribbons back if I want to, but it's just easier for me to do it this way. So I'm looking about here. Does not have to be exact, you guys. Don't worry about it if it's not perfect. In fact, I've had some customers tell me they like imperfect bows better than perfect ones, which I hadn't heard that until this year. But okay, now I've got my 4.5 inches over here. I've got my one loop on that side. This is going to be the last loop. Look over here, even it up. I'm going to pinch it. I'll set that down in there. Okay. All right, now let's come down here. We're going to cut off our tails. I'm going to dovetail it. And you don't have to do the dovetailing at this point. If you want to wait, you can do it when you get it done. Or if you want to do it before you get going, you can do at least one side. I do it both ways, so it doesn't matter really. All right, now let's put this our earrings on here. Now, if I'm putting a center loop in, just like a highlight, I usually make it quite a bit smaller. So I'm thinking probably about a 3-inch loop on this one. Let's get our tails, and I usually make the tails quite a bit smaller too, but you can do what you want. Same thing, I'm going to take the good side away, twist it, holding it down. All right, let's find about a 3-inch loop here. So there's 6, about here. Let's twist it. Under 3 inches. So, okay. And we'll just set that down in there. Let's kind of pinch it. Okay. Isn't that gorgeous? I love it. All right, now, to finish off this bow, there's a lot of ribbon here. You could use a pipe cleaner. You could also use floral wire. I'm going to use a zip tie. It's just a little bit more secure, and this bow I'm making just to sell the bow. So I try to make a bow that somebody can use over and over if they want to. I'm going to take this zip tie. I'm going to make sure this little knob here, see that little knob? I'm making sure that's pointed toward the table, okay? I'm going to go underneath all this ribbon, and I'm going to bring this zip tie diagonally through my pegs. Now some people do it just right beside. I can't get my bow loops to stay straight when I do that, okay? If it works for you, that's fine, but this is the way I do it, okay? All right, I'm going to put it diagonally underneath all this ribbon. Okay, so I'm going to take my hands down here. I'm going to raise it up off of the board. I'm going to make sure I've got all my ribbon. And again, I'm making sure that peg is, or that little knob is pointing downward. Put it through there diagonally. Bring it back over the top, again diagonally. Okay, just kind of cinch it down real lightly. We don't want it tight at this point. Okay, raise that up. Get your board out of the way. All right, now let's get all our tails going the way I want them to. Now I'm holding the ribbon pretty snugly here because again I don't have it secured with my zip tie yet. Okay, all right, I'm arranging all my loops here. I want to start on the bottom and I work upward, and I want to make sure that this center loop especially is pointing, you know, right in the middle. Okay, fix it on this side. Okay, now I'm going to adjust my white ones here. Be careful you don't pull too tight or too hard, I mean. Run and, you know, slide those out. Okay, and now this single one, I'm going to make sure again it's right in the center. I want to make sure that it splits up these two loops. Okay, all right, and it is. All right, now we'll get our little silver piece here. I'm going to make sure my loops are equal, more or less. Again, it does not have to be perfect. Okay. All right, I'm happy with it. So I'm going to, well, I say that. I still think that's a little bit uneven. Hang on. There. Okay. All right, now I'm going to turn it over. I'm going to cinch it down just a little more snug. I'm going to get a pipe cleaner because they're going to have something to connect this to the, you know, the banister, the wreath, the lantern, whatever they're going to use it for. Okay, so I'm going to slide that underneath that pipe clean or that zip tie. I'm going to do one more check. Okay, looks good. So I'm going to tighten it up. Okay. All right. Now I'm going to trim off that edge of that zip tie. If I were putting this in a wreath myself, I wouldn't do this next step. But since I'm making this bow to sell, I am going to do it. I'm going to make a finished product for my customer. I'm getting all my loops straightened out, guys, so we can straighten them again here in a minute. Okay, all right, but I don't want that zip tie showing, and I'm sure my customer wouldn't either, so I'm going to find something to cover that up. My preference would be to put a blue one in here, a blue strip, but I don't want to waste a whole, you know, I don't want to waste that ribbon. So I'm going to just come in here with another piece of this little 5/8 inch ribbon. I'm going to cut off about 8 or 9 inches, 9, 10 inches, something like that. Okay. I'm going to fold it in half. And I'm just going to set it right over that zip tie. I'm going to make sure that both my, you know, all of my ribbon is on the correct side. You know, all the tails are on the correct side. I'm going to flip it over. I'm just going to tie that right on top of that zip tie. Okay. All right, now trim it. Okay. All right. So we've got our first bow made. Okay, and of course you'll have to fluff out your bow. Okay, isn't that pretty? I love those colors. But see what I was talking about, how that white kind of elevates the blue. If I'd have made this all a blue bow, it'd be pretty dark, especially if you're thinking about putting it on a wreath. Now, if I were to put this on a wreath, I would want to be sure that I have some kind of similar background also. You know, a lot of times I'll get questions in my wreath making group about, looks like this ribbon's lost in the wreath. Well, if you've got a dark background like this, you're going to need something to set it off, to set it apart from the ribbon in the wreath, right? I always compare it to, you know how like when we frame a picture, we use matting, or we mat the picture to set it apart from the frame. And if you can think along that line, that's what I'm talking about. Okay? Okay. All right. Isn't that cute? I really like it. All right. Let me look through and see if I have any questions I can answer. Oh, thank you, Patricia. Thank you so much. Yes, you are live. Yes, ma'am. Oh, Vernita, you're looking at the Santa. Yeah, I'll show you that. Actually, one, maybe two are spoken for at this point, but, oh, thank you, Sharon. But I'll show them to you. Oh, thank you, Barb. Thank you so much. Hey, Linda from Dayton. We're neighbors. It's my neighbor. Okay, Sharon says that Etsy's back up. Good deal. Yeah, I don't know what kind of hiccup it is. But, I mean, that happens there every now and then. And my feeling is they got a lot of traffic. Hey, Sally. Oh, Fabian, you noticed that root was too long, too. Yeah, and like I said, it doesn't have to be perfect. But I mean, you don't want it grossly abnormal. But yeah, that's one fault I have with the Easy Bow Maker. It's so easy to make them a little bit uneven. Oh, Glenda, just wanting to see a tree topper bow. We're going to do one of those in the group. I thought about doing it today, but I didn't have enough ribbon. Okay. All right, let's do another one. And this one is going to be using the dreaded one-directional ribbon, okay? But hopefully by now it's not dreaded to you. It just takes a little extra steps. And let me get this put up and I'll show you what I'm talking about. And this is the next ribbon we're going to work with. This set here. And I chose it the same way I chose the previous ribbon. You know, I started with one ribbon and that was this one. So I'm looking at the colors and I'm thinking, and really I think it would look really good with a like a natural color also. But I chose this holly ribbon just because it has a holly in here and the colors matched. But anyway, I started with this one ribbon, started building out my patterns and my colors. You know, it has kind of a scarlet or a darker red here. It has the black. It is a little bit shimmery. It is a satin, but it's good bodied satin. Let me take it off of here. I'll show you. It's real stout ribbon. Real stout. Whereas the other one, the wire was good, but the material was a little flimsy. This is good all the way around. It has good wire, and the material is nice and firm. But you can make a big bow loop of that, and it's going to stay. Okay. All right. But anyway, I started out with my cardinals. I found this holly ribbon, which I thought paired really nicely with it. And then I wanted a solid. At this point, I thought, you know, we already have a lot of the natural color going on, so I'm thinking either the green or a scarlet, and I elected to go with the scarlet for Christmas, right? Okay. All right. Hey, Cindy, how are you? All right, so let's make another bow. And I'm going to oh, I started to tell you, this is one directional ribbon. If you hear that term, what it means is this is a pattern ribbon, whereas this pattern, it didn't matter if it was upside down or not, it's going to look the same. This ribbon is going to be one directional, where it has to be a certain way for the cardinals to be right, okay? Ethel May's wanting to know what the color, the background color is. It's a natural color. It has a kind of a little bit of a sheen. I don't know if you can see that on camera, but it's nice ribbon. I like it. I like it. Okay. Oops, I don't know why I started out with that, because I don't want that one first. All right, this one we're going to make just a little bit different pattern. I'm going to do 2 of this holly. And again, if you wanted to, even you could throw in like a 2.5 inch solid, like a canvas of the scarlet. That would look really pretty too. Actually, that might even look better with the 2 of them. But anyway, I'm going to put 2 loops of this. Then we're going to do a loop of the scarlet, the solid velvet. Then we're going to do the cardinals, and then another scarlet. Okay? All right, and we'll talk about how to manage this one directional ribbon. All right, and again, I'm going to go a little quicker on this one. If you need to review slower, you know, you can always go back and look at the other bow we just did. Okay? All right, let's make, you know what, I'm looking at this. I almost want that 2.5 inch. I'm going to run back. Oh, Jamie ordered this? Good. Good. It's beautiful. Let me run back. I'm going to see if I can find a either a canvas or a velvet about this color. I think that's going to make this really pop. Okay? But I want a 2.5. I don't know why I didn't think about it until I set it down there. I thought it really needs a background, kind of like what I was talking about with the other ribbon, where it needs a background ribbon to highlight it. Let me just look a second. I'll be right back. I'm looking to see how close those look. They look pretty close, I think. Okay. I mean, they're different fabrics, so of course they're going to look just a hair bit different, but I'll show you what I'm talking about as far as the background, setting these off. I'm just going to change my pattern too. That's a woman's prerogative, right? Is that going to look good? Okay. All right, so let's do our 14-inch tail again. I'm going to take it, I'm going to twist it. I'm going to go ahead and dovetail this tail. And let's go about 5.5 inches again. We're going to twist it, push it down. 5.5 inches. Twist it, put it down. Just use that loop to compare. Push it down. You know what? I'm just going to make, I changed my mind. I'm just going to make 1 loop on the back. I don't want too much red. Okay. All right, let's trim off our tail. Sorry guys, I changed my mind after I saw that laid out there, so. And that happens, but like I said, with the easy bow, you can see it right there. All right, so we've got our first loop there. Now I'm going to come in with my holly, And the reason I'm doing the holly next is I want the star of the show to be this ribbon, the cardinal ribbon, okay? So I'm going to come back here. I'm going to do 2 loops on either side of this. Bring it down here, compare it to the other tail. Just a little bit shorter. Take it down. We're going to twist it. We'll go ahead and dovetail it. Okay. I'm going to make this the same length. Okay, so I'm going to make it about 5.5 inches. I'm going to take it down. Good sides away from me. Twist it. Same thing on the other side. This ribbon's coming off of the roll a little bit wrinkly. Or wavy, I should say, on the wire, so I'm having to straighten it out as I go. All right, 1 more loop on either side of this. All right, push it down. This is the last loop, so I don't have to twist it. All right, we're going to pinch it and push it down. Okay, all right, so let's bring this tail down here and this tail up here. And see, now this ribbon this holly ribbon has a background or an accent to kind of set it off, let you appreciate it a little bit better than it would have been otherwise. Okay, now I'm going to come back in here and I'm going to do another loop of the burgundy, or the scarlet is what it's called. Okay, just 1 loop, and I'm going to make this a little bit smaller. It's going to be about 5 inches. Right down here, get my tail. We're going to twist it, push it down. Come over here about I got my grid messed up. That's why I couldn't see it. Okay, about 5 inches, give or take. Now we'll come over here. We do not have to twist because I'm just doing 1 loop. Pinch it. Again, I got my finger there to hold those. Hold those ribbons down. Okay. Trim it off. I already dovetailed this. Let's dovetail these. Dovetail this. Okay. All right, now let's do our 1 directional ribbon. Okay, this is where it gets interesting. Okay. All right, now with the 1 directional ribbon, we cannot do it the way we typically do. Okay, because as I said, you know, we've got the cardinals are going 1 direction. And some people it doesn't matter, and there's some instances when I don't care, okay? But for the purposes of making a bow to sell, which this is what I'm doing, I want it to be right, okay? And see how my wire's a little bit wavy? I'm just taking my finger and running that down through it to straighten it out. That happens sometimes with the manufacturing, okay? All right, now we want the cardinals facing toward me. I know it's upside down for you guys, but the way I do this, and again, there's other ways you can do it too, okay? I take it and I make my bow loop on the outside here, my first bow loop, okay? And I'm going to make this one about the same length as the previous burgundy or scarlet, okay? I'm going to take this. I've got my thumb here, this is the same length, okay? Now I'm going to just take it and pinch it. And I'm just going to set it down in there, okay? So our cardinals are going the correct direction on this first loop, okay? All right, I'm going to straighten this wire again here. All right, now, only thing we have to do to finish this bow loop on this side, we're going to measure out our loop. We're going to pinch it once we get our size right. Okay, I'm just comparing it with the previous loop here, and I set it down in there. Okay. All right, now I've got half of this bow is done. Half of this these bow loops. Okay. All right, and I'm going to trim this off. I'm not going to cut my cardinal in half, so this one might be a little bit longer. I'm going to hold this down and get those waves out, though. Okay, I'm going to dovetail it. Okay. All right, so we've got half of this bow loops done. Okay. All right, now we'll do the same thing on this side. I've got my ribbon all twisted. Hang on a minute, let me get them unfolded. Okay. All right, I'm going to just do the opposite that I just did. Okay. I'm going to have this tail, and I try to be generous here on this end because, you know, I'm going to be fluffing these bow loops, and I don't want this to come out. Okay. All right, so I'm going to bring it over here. I'm going to make it as, you know, about the same as this previous loop. Okay, so I've just got a loop here. That's all I've got. Okay, I'm going to pinch it. I'm going to set it down in there. Okay. Now I'm just going to bring it over the top. Again, I'm going to compare it with that other loop. I'm going to pinch it, drop it in there. Okay? Easy peasy, right? All right, and there's our other tail. Again, I'm going to get my wires unwaved here. All right, so let's go over here and we're going to see where our other tail ended. I'm going to dovetail it. Okay. All right, so now all my cardinals are going the right direction. Okay, nobody's upside down on their head. Okay. So basically, I just make the bow outside of the maker, really, the first loop, anyway. Okay? All right, now let's finish it up with some of this velvet ribbon. And just like the one last, I'm going to make a small, you know, a much smaller loop. Okay? Bring my tail down here. I'm going to twist it, push it down. And bring it back here. Probably about 3 inches. Twist it. Bring it over here, about 3 inches. Pinch it. I'm not so sure on these colors, guys. I'm thinking I need to put this ribbon here. I wish I had a 2.5 inch of it, but looking at them like they're side by side, I'm not real keen on the colors. But you see what I'm talking about as far as being able to break up the, you know, all the natural color or the light color. It really does make it pop. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and dovetail this. I'm not going to put a zip tie on this because I'm going to go back and I'm going to change that. I'm going to go back and I'm going to change these two ribbons to this. Okay, I'm not going to, bore you guys with it, but just know that's why I'm not going to go ahead and finish it. But I did want to show you that ribbon, and I wanted to show you how to work with the one directional ribbon. Okay. All right, let me look through and see if I have any questions. Oh, you like that, Diane? Good. It's so simple. It's so simple. And I have a simpler one with the more the vertical. Believe it or not, this is horizontal. It's a horizontal one directional, which it doesn't make sense. Why? To me, it's named differently than it should be. The other one, the horizontal, the vertical one directional, it's even easier, but I don't have any of that to show you. So, oh, you should get it here shortly, Jamie. All right, I'm just going to look and see if I've got any questions here. Yes, Cindy, that is available on Etsy. Etsy was down when I started this video, but they say it's back up, and that one's already listed in there. Oh, Tanya. Yes, just keep practicing, Tanya. And you know what has been my experience from, teaching lots of people to make bows over the years is most people are harder on themselves than what they need to be. Because if you've seen me, go back to some of my videos where I'm making a wreath and I'm making a bow by hand. I mean, they don't look good when I start. You got to get in there, you got to fluff them, and just practice. And do I like all the bows I make? No, I don't. But it's just practice. So, okay. All right. I don't see any other questions over here. Let me look at YouTube. Yes, they are, Patricia. And like I said, they say that it's Etsy is back up. I'll put a link here for you. I can't see hardly that far. Sorry. Okay, and that right there is a link to my to that shop. Let me show you one before you get that. Oh, Kathy, I got a message that it's in stock now. Yes, I did. I was thinking about you the other day because I got an email that it's in stock. I do not have it yet. Jamie, I will replace it with this 1.5 only because I don't have this in a 2.5. I am now. I'm going to go back through my stash and see. I was trying to hurry because I had you guys here. If I have a closer 2.5 to this, I'd prefer it to be 2.5. But just when I did a quick scan, I didn't see anything close. So, but yeah, that'll be my preference. Okay, let me see if I got any other. Hey, Vince, how are you? Oh, that's okay. I hope you're okay. Doctor's office? Don't like to hear that. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Patricia. I appreciate that. Thank you. All right, you guys want to see this other ribbon? Here, I'm going to bring you up. You guys want to see the one that just got hot off the press? I hope you're not disappointed. I hope we're not all disappointed because I'm pretty sure I know which one it is. What am I going to do with my knife? Oh, here it is. All right, let's see what we got here. Actually, I think there might be 2 different ones in here, now that I say that out loud. And as I said, I tried to get this listed before I went live on Etsy, but it didn't get here in time, and then whenever I got here, Etsy was down, so I did not get it listed, but I will here shortly, okay? All right, let's see what we got here. And this is fair silk ribbon, so you know it's good. Okay, here's the first one. Somebody out there doing the drum roll? Actually, I've been waiting on, I think, a similar one from D. Stevens, but it's not come in either. So I saw this was available, so I went ahead and ordered it. So I'm going to have a bunch of it. It is what I thought it is. Okay, let me open this up here. And like I said, this is fair silk, so you know it's good quality. Oh boy, and it's trying to see if it's fuzzy or not. It is fuzzy. It is fuzzy, and look at that in the back. I love it. Look at that. You can make a 9-inch bow loop out of that. Wouldn't that look pretty with a tree topper? Nice huge bow loop. So anyway, I'll be listing this afternoon, but it's really pretty. Really, really pretty. Okay? All right, and this one, I think this one's just a solid, if I remember right. You guys order stuff and you don't remember what you ordered? I'd actually kind of forgot I did, and I got a hold of them. Karina, she's real nice and real easy to work with. They usually, as soon as I place an order, they get in touch with you to confirm different things, and I hadn't heard from her in about a week, and so I emailed her, and I think they just kind of lost it, but that's okay. All right, I bought this because, you know, this royal blue is, I mean, you can use it now for Christmas, but around the time of the patriotic holidays, it's so hard to find a good royal blue in a 1.5 inch. Isn't that pretty? It's called Diamond Dust. And this glitter, their Diamond Dust, it doesn't shed like what a lot of glitter ribbon does. But, of course, you can't see there, but trust me, it does not shed like what they do. So, isn't that pretty? I wonder if it'd match this. Hang on a minute. You could put these two together. Pretty close. It'd be really pretty too. Okay, that's all the show and tell I've got for you. Okay? Yes, it is. It is. Yeah, ooh la la, yes, Tina. Okay. All right, let me see if I got any other questions. Okay. All right. All right, well, that's all I have for you today. I'll list this other ribbon here shortly. I don't know pricing or anything. I'll have to look and see what I paid for it and the shipping and that kind of thing. And then I'll get it on my Etsy shop. Hopefully Etsy will stay up for the rest of the day and no more hiccups, though. So, all right. Yes, I will be listing some of it. I need to save some for myself, but I'm going to be listing a lot of it. So, I think... Let's see. Well, you know what? I only ordered 6 rolls of it. I will list some, but I think I wanted to see it in person because I hadn't seen this one in person before. I wanted to see it in person before I ordered more, but yeah, I'll be listing it. So, okay? All right. Thank you guys so much for being here. I really appreciate you showing up time after time and putting up with me. And I will be live at least by Friday, probably around 3 o'clock in the afternoon, barring anything unforeseen. And I likely will go live again. I've got so many orders I've got to make, it's not even funny. So, you know, a lot of times while I'm, you know, making designs down here, I like to go ahead and go live and just at least have some company to talk to. So, okay? All right. You guys have a great rest.